Justice Mohammed. Legal test met for PNM wealth order. A High Court judge has released her detailed reasons for granting a preliminary unexplained wealth order against the People's National Movement, PNM, after attorneys representing the party requested an explanation for the court's earlier decisions. In a 23-page judgment delivered on Friday, July 31, 2026, Justice Margaret Mohammed explained why she was satisfied that the legal threshold had been met to issue the order sought by the police service. The proceedings stem from an ex parte application filed on July 10 by Assistant Superintendent of Police Ramdath Phillip, head of the TTPS's legal department, acting under delegated authority from Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara pursuant to the Civil Asset Recovery and Management and Unexplained Wealth Act, 2019. The respondents are listed as the trustees of the People's National Movement and the People's National Movement, represented by its General Secretary. The judge noted that on July 27, attorneys representing the second respondent requested the court's reasons for both the July 10 order granting the preliminary unexplained wealth order and a subsequent July 17 order permitting substituted service of court documents. Justice Mohammed stressed that, at this stage, the court was not determining guilt or making findings that any offense had been committed. Rather, the issue before the court was whether investigators had established reasonable grounds for suspicion, the legal test required under the legislation. In her ruling, she said the affidavit presented by ASP Phillip provided sufficient material for the court to conclude there were reasonable grounds to suspect that the respondents' total wealth exceeded their lawfully obtained wealth, and that some of the property under investigation may have been obtained through alleged offenses of bribery or corruption. The judge also relied on guidance from the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council in the 2026 case of Richard Taylor v. Natalie Spring, which clarified that reasonable suspicion is a lower legal threshold than reasonable belief. According to the judgment, investigators questioned the funding behind the construction of the PNM's new Balize House building and the refurbishment of the party's existing headquarters. The affidavit alleged that while the PNM publicly stated the project was financed through fundraising initiatives, including raffles, donations, buy-a-brick campaigns, and party contributions, police believed the construction costs were substantially higher than publicly disclosed. The affidavit further alleged there were reasonable grounds to suspect that some construction costs were paid or subsidized by third parties and that some of those entities later received government contracts while the PNM was in office. Justice Mohammed emphasized that these allegations formed part of the basis for the police's reasonable suspicion and were not findings of fact by the court. The judge also noted that the legislation requires only reasonable suspicion at this preliminary stage and does not require proof that the respondents themselves committed a specified offense.